This video reviews volcanic formations and eruptions. A volcano is a mountain that forms on Earth's crust when molten material reaches the surface. There is a difference between magma and lava. Magma is a molten mixture of rock-forming substances, gases, and water from the mantle. Magma is only found inside the Earth. Lava is magma that reaches Earth's surface. Lava is only found on Earth's surface. Volcanoes form along the boundaries of Earth's plates. Volcanoes can occur where two plates diverge or converge, meaning they can form at divergent or convergent boundaries. At a divergent boundary, plate movement causes the crust to fracture as it is being pulled apart and magma can escape. The left image shows the old Dunyo Lengai volcano. Its altitude is 2,886 meters, which is 9,524 feet. It towers above the East African Rift Valley in North Tanzania. The image on the right is a diagram of a volcano forming at a divergent boundary. At convergent plate boundaries, there are subduction zones. At a subduction zone, the water that is brought down can help form the magma. Volcanoes at convergent boundaries can form between two pieces of oceanic crust or one piece of oceanic crust and one piece of continental crust. Mount Rainier, the Tungurahua volcano, and Mount St. Helens are examples of volcanoes that formed at convergent boundaries. The Pacific Ring of Fire is a major belt of volcanoes in the Pacific Ocean. Many of these volcanoes formed at convergent boundaries. Not all volcanoes form at plate boundaries. Some volcanoes occur at hotspots. A hotspot is an area where material from deep within Earth's mantle rises through the crust and melts to form magma. When the magma breaks through the crust, it is a hotspot volcano. Examples of hotspot volcanoes are Yellowstone, which is pictured on the left, and the Hawaiian Island volcanoes. Kilauea, which is a volcano on the Hawaiian Islands, is on the right. Hotspots do not move, even though it may seem like they do. The plates are moving over the hotspot. Hotspots can create islands like the Hawaiian Islands. As the plates move over the hotspot, the island gets larger. Separate islands form if the hotspot volcano stops erupting and then starts up again. In this image, the hotspot is still forming the youngest island, Hawaii. The oldest island, Kauai, was formed during a previous eruption of the hotspot. Volcanoes erupt because of dissolved gases in the magma. Dissolved gases expand, which forms bubbles. Eventually, there is too much pressure and the volcano erupts. During an eruption, the pressure will decrease until the eruption stops. There are two different types of eruptions, quiet and explosive. The amount of silica, which is a material found in magma that forms from oxygen and silicon, determines if the eruption will be quiet or explosive. The temperature will determine how fluid the magma will be. Quiet eruptions have magma that is low in silica. This low silica content causes the gases in the magma to gently bubble out so lava oozes out slowly and quietly. The lava can flow for many kilometers. The Hawaiian Islands were formed by quiet eruptions. This video demonstrates quiet eruptions. Explosive eruptions are very high in silica. The magma is very thick and sticky. In explosive eruptions, the buildup of pressure will eventually explode out, causing lava and volcanic rock to be thrown everywhere. Mount St. Helens is an example of a volcano with an explosive eruption. This is an example of an explosive eruption.
920 and 925, like that. There was this terrific, very vigorous vertical eruption column. There was the stem of the mushroom or the toadstool that then blossomed out at greater height. And for most of the morning, we saw this tremendous ash cloud roiling out toward the northwest. And I can only assume that that was coming off of the big pyroclastic flows that were going off in that direction that later built the pumice plain. It was a very eventful morning, but it was sobering because I remember thinking up in the airplane that Dave just couldn't have survived this, especially when we got around to the west side and saw all this ash headed in his direction.